All right, let's grab a quick question out of the You Do Not Know My Life box. All right, and here we go. And you can, I mean, these are great. These are great for what we have a listener that uses this what for meetings, for icebreakers and
Yes.
meetings.
Yes, she has a team meeting like once a week and she'll steal the Friendzy You Don't Know My Life questions to ask her team and it opens everybody up and starts everybody in a good mood. So
All right,
steal these.
here's another one for you. What's a place or event that you snuck into?
Oh. eh. I mean, I have a story. I don't know if I want to share it, but I can.
Well, that's one that I want to hear.
Yeah, for sure. It takes a little background sharing, but
You don't have to share if you don't want to, but we always tell people to share their stories because they're important. And just curious. I can go first if you want to think about it.
I'm just trying to figure out how to frame it. So
Okay.
yes, you go first.
Okay. Well, this does have to do with college, but it's when my sister was in college, and this is something that my parents would not be happy with. So that's the other thing about when your kids go to college, just you have to let go because they need experiences. You don't have to know everything. And my mother had that philosophy. I don't need to know everything, is what she told me. I appreciate that. When I left home. So my sister, when she was in college at MTSU, my best friend and I were 14 years old, and my sister wanted to go out dancing one night, and there was a bar near campus, and she's like, I know the bartenders and I know the front door guy, and she's like, I'm going to sneak you into this bar, and she's like, in Shirley Temple. She said, remember Shirley Temple, and when you go to the bar. No, it wasn't Shirley Temple. We knew about Shirley Temple, but she said when you go to the bar, you can, get a rum and Coke to seem like you're an adult, but my friend knows to just give you the Coke. So she was instructing us, just know that always add Sprite or Coke to your drink order, and then you seem like you're fitting in. So at 14 years old, my friend and I snuck into this bar, and we would go to hey, can I have a rum and Coke? And we get a regular Coke, and then we dance. And oh my God, these these guys, we were dancing with these guys, and either they were creepers or we pulled it off.
Totally.
But yeah,
They were total creepers.
so at 14, I snuck into my
Oh my
sister's college
gosh.
bar.
That is so young. That is
I was
awesome.
too young. That is too,
Oh
too
my
young.
gosh.
But
Okay, that
yeah.
reminds me of a story now of sneaking in. So, when I was in college, of course, everybody wanted to have a fake ID to go to the clubs that were only 21 and up, right?
Right.
And so there were a lot of difficult ones that you would never try your fake ID on because they'd always take it. But I remember one of the most glorious days, a friend of mine who was like a year older than me had gone out to a club and he found an ID on the floor and he
Mm.
picked it up and it sort of barely kind of only looked like me because she had blonde hair. Okay.
Okay.
Our faces did not look anything alike, but she had blonde hair. And I remember James calling me going, Jenn, you're not going to believe this. I found you a fake ID. This thing was tattered around the edges, frayed, old. It was like almost like blue tinted. It was probably someone else's fake ID that they had gotten from someone else, from someone else, from
Of
someone else,
course,
right? I mean,
yes.
and I accidentally dropped it on the ground, but man, I used that thing for like 2 years. It was awesome. And I had the whole thing memorized. I don't think I could recite it to you now, but in college, I could recite
Oh,
to
I
you
bet.
where she was from, her address. I memorized all of that and definitely got into some of the nightclubs that were 21 and up.
Because sometimes those old IDs too, the plastic would bubble up over certain parts, and so I wondered if it
Oh,
bubbled up over
yeah.
the picture, which would make it harder to see,
There
but
was a bubble, and I remember it was that top right side was really crinkled and frayed, and but it worked for a
it
little while.
worked.
It got me into the late night library.
Oh, you had a
Yeah.
library on campus too?
Oh, yeah, late night library,
Ours was called
yeah.
the library.
But the one that you never would get into is called Bullwinkle's. You never use it because they had the
Mm,
toughest, door guys, and
yeah.
they would take your fake ID and get you in trouble. So, you didn't go to Bullwinkle's, but you could sneak it into the late night library.
That's hilarious. And again, parents who are sending their kids to college don't
You you
don't
don't
worry
need
about
all
it.
the
You don't
stories.
need to be like Millie Pete. I don't need to know everything. I distinctly remember her telling me that. Because my sister would try to shock her with my sister and my mother's relationship, very interesting. So my sister would always like overshare just to make my mother angry. And so I remember it was after one of those incidences where my mother, when I went, said, "You know what, Melissa? I don't need to know everything." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she didn't.